Condiment services, thank you for 40 months. I was thinking we could plan the route for tomorrow. Actually, let me have a quick look at where we are and see how long we've got. Oh, we've got plenty of time. We're good for now. We go to Sky Vector. And then can I have my own FBO and still be a squirrel? I believe so. I really don't know how it works. Right, so if we wanted to do a group flight tomorrow around Japan, what do you think would be a good place to start? Like, which is the best part of the island? It's supposed to be an ILS tomb, yeah, I just need to figure out the frequency punching in. I don't think I've tried the ILS on the King, so it would be pretty interesting. That big volcano. Yeah, where is it? Where is everything? Don't know Japan that well. Tokyo's a good area, you can head west near Fuji. That's Osaka. Yokoshima. Well, Tokyo apparently is here. This is Tokyo. Because I'm looking at Google Maps. Just to get a feeling for where things are. So there's Tokyo here, Osaka over there. Somebody was saying Nagara or something was a good place to fly. I don't know, we need interesting scenery to fly over in the group flight. Mount Fuji's west of Tokyo. Why doesn't it show it? Mount Fuji. It's right there. Kawasaki? Used to have a Kawasaki. So I guess we could start off... Wait, Tokyo Disneyland, are you serious? I guess we could start off in Tokyo International, or we could even start off somewhere else and fly into Tokyo International. We could even start further east. We could start over here maybe. Nagasaki has a handcrafted airport. Yeah, where's Nagasaki, dude? Literally no clue about Japan. Nagasaki. Yeah, you see, now the problem with Nagasaki then... Wait, what? That's not Nagasaki. Yeah, the problem with Nagasaki is we're going to be over here. we're going to be over here, so that's a bit far for GA planes. So that's not happening. So let's take off out of here. Let's plan that. Then maybe we'll go down here. Why are the two airfields in such close proximity? We've got New Tokyo and Narita International. That's massive. There you go, that's 25 nautical, that's good. 25 nautical to that. We go straight to Tokyo International. That's 32 nautical. That'll give us a nice flight. That's more or less over the bay though. Maybe we should try and come in at a different angle. What if we come in via like that? It's probably slightly better. And then after that we could go this way. And that should give us a decent routing through Tokyo, shouldn't it? Try starting at RJSI. Why? And where's RJSI? Well, that's about as best as I can make the area, unless we like start doing full loops around here. It's either that or we fly... We could fly over it and then come back. That's another way of doing it. So we could like... I might get rid of this. Hang on, we can't get rid of it because it's set it as a destination and all you want. There's a nice bridge connecting Okayama with Shikoku Island. I wonder if it's modelled. Dude, you might as well be talking about Timbuktu. That's a 2,000 metre long strip. We set that as a destination for a second. And I can get rid of Tokyo. So 33 across the north side of Tokyo, 24 along here. Nip over to the bay. Do you reckon that'll get to see Tokyo enough? Or is that too much Tokyo? I kind of feel like it misses out all this bit here, but unless we come directly in that way, but then where do we go from there? Yeah, the bot's having a laugh today. And then after that, I don't know where we're going to go, because there's not a lot going on down here. Like the nearest airfield I can see now is that one, and that's a long way away. Too much Tokyo, not enough Mount Fuji, then. I can't actually see an airfield anywhere in sight, which is kind of not surprising. But if we was to go here, then that leg is 69 nautical, which is a long leg. That's about 40 minutes in a Cessna. Unless we go here first, maybe. But then you've got flying over water, which is not exactly exciting. It's a nice leg. Yeah, I mean, what we could do is, like, when we actually fly it, we could actually fly along the valley, though. You know, not fly in a straight line, just keep between these two peaks and go in between that way. Come over the top of this town and then out that way, or follow the bay. So we could make that leg really scenic. We don't need to fly a straight line. And then after that, we can go to this one, which is Hamamatsu. And then over to here. How long is that now? That looks pretty long. Yeah, there should be some good views, I reckon. 25 and 18. 277 distance, that's already quite a bit. That's 300 nautical. How far do we generally make it on the group flight? How far do we often go? So effectively this is like a little entree followed by a Tokyo drift followed by a scenic flight past Fiji and then some more coastal stuff. Upgrade to faster planes. Well, which planes do we go with? That's the question. Some people don't feel comfortable with the faster stuff, and if we go too quick, nobody else can keep up. It is a tricky one. I mean, I flew the Caravan and I had to slow down to like 180 knots just so that other people could keep up. After that, there's not a lot going on, to be honest, unless you start going off down to Osaka. I can't believe it doesn't have any airfields around here. That's crazy. Take 6 and 7 legs away over the bay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and 7 legs over the bay. Well, people want to get close to Mount Fuji, don't they? That was my thought. I mean, you could take that bar optionally. Unless that's what you actually meant. So take it down the coast there and then back over. Leave that as the long bit. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Leg 8 is the long one. 9, 10, 11. 337 nautical. And after that we're a bit stuck because after that it's, you know, it's a long journey. Unless we ignore that last one and go here instead. So we get rid of that one. But even that's 82. A circle of the mountain would be better. The trouble is, like, you've got to be... We don't know what the live weather's going to do, and you've got to be pretty high as it is to get around this. Right, 1 second. I need to not ignore what's going on in this plane. Let me just have a check on where we are. So the next waypoint is OBK. That's 171 nautical away. ILS 16. Which means OBK, then descend down to 2,700. So OBK at about 3,000. TBMs, I think the TBMs will be too quick. Like, we're trying to see scenery as well, you know, and a TBM would just, like, blitz through it. So we actually have Northbrook on 113.0 that we could punch in. Okay, how do we work the audio, nav radios, nav 1, nav 2? So nav 1, no. How do you program the nav 1 on this thing? I like how that actually turns that, that's cool. Click split, then bottom FPL. Nav 1 frequency, that needs to be the localizer 109.75. Transfer that into the active. Nav 2, we'll put in the Northbrook VOR 113. OBK, that's correct. So it's picked that up. So the nav should now be tuned, I think. Active frequency 109.75. So that's punched in. So in theory it's got the localizer on nav 1. How do you put the... Does the course knob actually work on this thing? Let's go heading... God's sake. Heading bug a second. Switch to VOR 1. It normally does this itself when it tunes in. We'll put it on 161 anyway. Okay, so that's that set up. So let's think. So descent altitude, we've got to get down to 3,000. We're currently at 24,000. We've got to lose 21,000 times 3. It's about 63 nautical that we need to shed. At about 1,300 feet per minute. So 63 nautical from OBK. So let's round up and do about 70. Because I like being a little bit earlier. So when we get to 70 here, we're going to start descending, and we're going to go down to about 3,000 feet. Right, I think that can be our route tomorrow. I don't expect that we'll make this last leg. I think we'll go in the caravan and we'll try and do... Initially we'll fly fairly slowly over here, but we want to be like 150, 180 knots or something. And try it that way and see what happens. If people want to fly a Cessna 172, they're going to be falling behind a little bit. That's the only downside of flying a caravan. Because we have to do this at 120 knots. And that's nearly 400 nautical. You know, even at full pelt, that's going to take 3.5 hours, which is too long. So if somebody wants to have a look at the route, maybe you could start in a GA and switch to a caravan. We could, but that means everybody loading the sim back in with another plane, and that takes time. That's the only issue with that. Right, subs, I'm going to post this in Discord. I'm going to post it in the Flight Sim chat. Right, I've posted that in the Flight Sim chat on Discord. If some of the subs could have a quick look at it and just make sure, just sanity check it for me, that would be awesome. And if it is, then if it's okay, then we'll go with that tomorrow. Look at you playing since about 10 seconds through dev menu. Interesting. I never do that through dev menu. Maybe I should. I suspect most people don't know that trick. This is quite a big airfield we're going to. Whoa, look at this cloud. Look at that. That's just crazy. Ground speed's definitely not as good as it was. Thank you, Pickled. What's the purpose of programming nav 2 and will the plane know to use nav 1 for the ILS? Yeah, it always uses nav 1 for the ILS, and the purpose of programming in nav 2 is more or less as a backup. Since there's a VOR at the airfield, it kind of makes sense to have it. Strictly speaking, what I should do is, because I want to change the course knob for the second VOR, but to do it I need to use the second course knob here. But if I spin it, it won't do anything, right? Because we've not got it selected. So what we have to do is go into heading mode first, so put the heading bug forward, go into heading mode, which is here now, and then we can come in here, change the source to nav to VOR2, and then we can use the second knob to turn the course heading. And we can put that on like 161 as well, which is the inbound course that we want to the VOR. And then flick that back to FMS, go back to nav mode. So now the course knob for VOR2 is set, so when it picks it up, we will see it down here, and we could, in theory, switch to it and use it. You know, if the weather was bad and we got lost or whatever. It's just more stuff. You don't need it. You don't need to punch it in. Well, we're not doing a VOR approach. But you could.
Destination 8 is 124.2.
What tutorials are you doing next? I don't know. I'm going to have to figure all that out next week. I mean, we could cover some boring stuff like level turns, you know, which sound boring, but, you know, if you want to learn to fly a plane, you kind of have to be able to do them. There's stuff like that you can do. Or there's like, I really want to get onto rudder control and crosswinds and things. I think that's a big thing. And, you know, slipping and skids and that kind of stuff. Yes, Johnny, it will be an open flight tomorrow. Complete with all the crosstalk dial switching that we always get. Rudder controller and Xbox controller. I can't help people's input controllers, can I? All I can do is show you what, what to do. We just planned the route about 20 minutes ago, Johnny, and it'll kick off about 5 p.m. tomorrow. It doesn't, Ferret. You can tell it doesn't. Like, I can't show you on this plane. Do you know underneath the turn coordinator, if you spawn in a plane with, like, if you spawn in the Cessna 152 and look at the turn coordinator underneath this little slip ball, when you barrel on down the runway, you will see that the ball goes, like, to the right, and you need to put right rudder in to compensate. You do see it happen. I don't know if it's as pronounced as it should be, but it does happen. Unless there's some assistance option that I don't know about. I don't know. I mean, I have that turned off. UCR with VJoy to actually use the triggers of the Xbox controller for an axis for rudder. That's a good one. What's UCR with VJoy though? Johnny, if you're in the Discord server, it'll get posted in the announcements tomorrow, and then it'll be available in the chat as a command in the afternoon. Alright, pups, hang on. RJTE doesn't exist in Flight Sim's menu. It's sort of there. Right, okay. We're going to have to make a correction to the flight plan then. That one doesn't apparently exist. Oh, that's really annoying. We could go there. RJTO instead. Seems a bit backward to do that though. I think we'll just have to take it out. UJR VJoy I use my Logitech steering wheel to turn into pedals. Fair enough. Alright, so that doesn't exist in Microsoft Flight Sim, which is a real shame. Because that would have been a nice coastal run down there, but it's not to be. What on earth is that in the middle of Tokyo? 792 meters. Like somebody's back garden. Well, Japan doesn't seem to have that many airfields at all, to be fair. I mean, it's still 360. I think that'll do us. Alright, let's go with that then. Alright, I've posted the updated link in the Flight Sim chat. Won't be long before we're descending. Japan has bullet trains. I guess. maybe the weather's just too bad to fly around Japan. Wing leveler ED, there's an autopilot. I've not seen a one-axis autopilot on any of the planes. I've not, Matty, no. Are we flying in daylight tomorrow considering the time differences? So what I'll do is I'll work out the start time for tomorrow. See, when we flew Norway, I chose a local time. I'll do the same thing for Japan. We'll pick a certain local time to fly in. But I'll have all the details tomorrow. We won't be flying live time, that's for sure. Yeah, Matty H49 and Matty 971. Can one of you change your name and then we don't have more than one Matty? Maybe I'll just call you Matty H and Matty 9 or something. Right, 93 nautical. I think we said we were going to descend at about 70, I think. Yeah, I will forget that, Matty. Honestly, I can't maintain like a list of Twitch names to real names in my head and be like, ah, that's Matty, that's Matthew, ah, that's Drejon, that's Alan. Not to worry for me, that's your IRL name. Fair enough. That makes it easy. It's like a Cosford calling everyone by Twitch names. Honestly, I don't know. It's a problem. It's a real problem. Trying to remember everybody's name is a real issue. You even call people by their Twitch names when you know their IRL names. I mean, I still call Sommy Sommy, which is literally his Twitch name. And I often call Pups Pups, which is again his Twitch name. Even though it's not, it's I like puppies. Call Brendan Durker. Yeah, I kind of call him. I don't know actually. Mostly I refer to him as Durker, I think. Yeah, I call Dave Shaved. Yeah, Motley definitely gets called Motley all the time. Absolutely. Whereas like Hannah that's her name, so she gets called Hannah. But if she'd have had a different name. Right, 10 nautical and we are descending. Pretty well on fuel, actually, considering we had a headwind all the way. it looks like we've more or less lost this top layer of cloud now, so we've just got this lower layer to deal with. We're looking at that at the moment. You're gonna change your name tomorrow? Dude, you don't have to change your name. It's fine. You have whatever name you want. Thank you, Gentry. Give it a quick overview before we start descending. Right. Time to get the descent on. It's a dream for most of us. Well, it took me many, many years to get it, so it's definitely a long-term thing to aim for. I'm not going to back off on the power. I'm going to take advantage of the speed.
Oh, yeah.
Mr. Cornwall Boy, had to phone the police tonight. Some very drunk guy was trying to get into my house, mistaking it for his own. And he got very verbally abusive when I said it was my house. Turns out he lives the other side of Truro. He does this a lot, apparently. Oh my god. Dude. That's not what you want on a Saturday evening, is it really? I just give you grief for Christmas. At least a gift wrap it, Dave. Sounds about right for Cornwall. I never thought Cornwall was like that. I thought Cornwall was a lovely place. Apparently not. Wait, Langeveld, you left your car door open. What the heck? I don't know, I kind of like Devon a bit more than Cornwall personally. Cornwall's a beautiful place, but it is a little bit out the way. I prefer Devon. Yeah, had that happen to me once when you had a flat. Some dude was staying with the people in the flat above me and he thought he was in theirs, not mine. Punch right through these clouds soon. Bude in Cornwall is your favourite place in the UK? I'm trying to think. I can't remember if that's where... I've definitely been to Bude, Dave. I'm pretty certain I've stayed there. Lockdown is over, we should do a Bude trip. We'll have a LAN party in Bude, Dave. Been to St. Ives and that was pretty. Yep.
Position altitude. Nearest altimeter 3016.
Local pressure. Your family immigrated from Cornwall to America 300 years ago. Do you remember it? Maybe Yoshi, maybe. I can't see it being a complete lockdown, Yoshi, but, you know, it could happen in places. Falmouth is the best place for good pubs and nightlife. I've been to Falmouth a couple of times. Valestia Thrallwin, I hope you have enough fuel to land. Didn't pay attention, makes concerned noises. Dude, I'm fine for fuel. I'm absolutely... Look at this, got loads of it. Loads of fuel. We could more or less glide to the airfield. How do you rate the Kingar tomb? It's got some annoying things about it. Mostly around the touchscreens. But, you know, in Honor it can move a lot of stuff. And it can move it fairly quickly, and I appreciate that. Seems quite a heavy plane to fly. It has a massive takeoff run. But it lands very well. As in, it decelerates ridiculously quickly. Takes off ridiculously badly. And in between, it goes very quick. But the payload capacity is what I like about it. Now, I'm assuming that it's going to make that turn and not fly all the way to OBK and then turn. You're kind of implying that it's going to do that. Then it should bring us round here. And then this is where we capture. There's Pam. So at Pam, we have to be above 2300. So by the time we're coming along this straight here, we want to be slowing down around here. 2300 when we get to Pam. And that's when we should capture the glide slope, if everything's worked okay. We shall see. Have I tried landing it in St. Bart's? No. Like I say, I would be more worried about taking off than landing. This thing lands like a caravan. The worst thing about this plane, well, the thing that you have to manage is the glide. Like, when you flare the plane out, it floats like a Cessna. Like, it really does float before it comes down. And that can catch you out if you're not, you know, paying attention. You're doing an 8-hour flight tomorrow. Where are you going? Does the VNAV work in the planes? The ILS does, yeah. It tends to be the actual VNAV. Say you're descending and you punch in a bunch of altitudes and it doesn't calculate them. It just doesn't work properly. Under 10,000, landing lights coming on. Excellent view. Yeah, look at that. Next gen RTX graphics right there. This is why we buy a 3090. Is it possible to have altitude hold on autopilot without any wing level or roll hold, so I can turn, must have the autopilot hold the altitude? So what you're talking about is pitch control. Normally not, because normally the first axis is the roll. And then the second axis is pitch, and you can't have the second without the first on most planes. I really hope we come out of this cloud, although I mean we are doing the ILS, so we should be fine. Okay, elevation is 647. Minimums for the ILS is 927. So that's 300 feet above. I think we'll be fine. I can see the bay. I just about make out the bay though. No, I'm not Possum. I don't have my instrument license. It's something I'm working towards at some point. I did start it. I did start my instrument license, and then I started last year, and then I won the YouTube contract to do the VR 180 stuff. So I had to stop my instrument rating and focus on that. And, you know, if I hadn't have done the VR 180, I may well have had the instrument rating by now. But hey-ho, I'll do it again. To be honest with you, I'm kind of happy that I stopped in a way that I want to get more hours under my belt and get everything that I know. I want to be like automatic, so that when I go into instrument stuff, you know, I'm not having to think about so many other things. Look at that cloud layer. Jeez, man. But I'm still undecided about how I want to do it, like whether to do it over here or just go to the States and do it. I don't know, there's pros and cons. I think a lot depends on whether I've got a plane in it. If I think the thing for me will be if I've got a share in a plane, which I'm still looking for, a share in a plane that has proper instrument stuff. If I've got a share in a plane, then I'll probably hire an instructor to fly me in that plane and do my instrument license in that plane that I fly. I'll probably do it that way. That'll certainly be cheaper. Stu, 1 million, thank you for subbing. This instrument flying's not easy, Langeveld. But yeah, that's my next goal, is to get a share of a plane. You can study whilst watching, nice. Yeah, it is D22. If you do it in the States, you have to go and fly in the States, you need to apply anyway, so you get a piggyback license, I think it's called, and then you go and fly in the States, get your FAA instrument rating, then bring it back and have it translated into an EASA rating. What you see, the problem is like, if I do instrument rating in the UK and it doesn't then carry into an EASA license anymore because of Brexit, or an FAA license, then I would be better off going to America anyway and doing it there. A lot depends on what happens after, like, Brexit negotiations are finished. Because we just don't know. Like, the CAA has to come to an arrangement with EASA and the FAA. If they don't come to an arrangement, then you get a license in one and you have to have it, you know, faffed around into another. It's not in anyone's interest to do that. But then people are stupid, so... and the CAA are no better. Okay, so next altitude will be the 2300 we're looking for. You're going to be a commercial pilot via a modular course. Oh my god, look what it's doing. It's flying all the way to OBK, and then it's going to literally do like an about turn. See, the weird thing is if you look at this is behaving differently to what this is going to do. This has got a much more compressed loop compared to this. Let's get the speed down to like 200 or so, because this is just crazy turning right now. Yeah, I know, it doesn't follow its own curves, look at it. It's kind of weird. It's trying, bless it. I think we'll just bring the speed down to 180 so that when it makes this second turn, it can actually get around it properly. Otherwise, it's just gonna... No, the half bank's turned off. I think there's a fix in a mod to use half bank. I don't think it actually works. So you can't even half bank even if you want to. Oh god, here it goes. FN99, thank you very much for subbing. Welcome. Yeah, you guys, it should be able to follow that at 180 knots. Then what we're going to do is line up here. We'll switch to the localizer and see if we can capture the localizer. You can already see the VOR of the ODK pointing back, the back course that we talked about when we set that up. Yeah, but under Gabriel, I think the half bank changes, like turns on above about 18,000 or something really high. Look at this. Just like, you know, yeah, it is what it is. So you can imagine trying to fly this on a network right now. Controls are going to be going, dude, what are you doing? Sorry, I'm playing Microsoft Flight Sim. Oh, right, okay, it's fine. This is a mess. Yeah, it's actually... I'm going to have to descend because it's actually curtailing. We need to get down to 2300 because it's basically cutting the whole thing quite short now. Just look at that. Look at that curve. That's like no approach plate you've ever seen. You saw some guy flying A320 and VATSIM just like that? Yeah, I can totally believe it. So it's going to activate the next leg soon, then we're going to go onto the localizer, try and get that, and then we're going to try and activate the approach, which we should intercept at PAM at about 2,300 feet. That's the plan. Let's see what happens. Just going to slow it right down. So it's overshot that, which is something that happens a lot. I'm going to drop the gear and get some more drag. Let's get lock 1 going. Glide slope is indicated here. We're going to activate the approach. Just looking for the glide slope. SB Gaming, thank you for subbing for 5 months. This is not how you'd want to fly this normally, but as long as it works, it'll do. So we're flaps 1 gear down at the moment. Condition levers are fully forward. Missed approaches, direct ahead. 2700 turn left back to OBK. Okay, now we just wait. You just downloaded the game, you're not sure how to get started. I have a tutorial series that you could watch. That might help. Goes through controller setup and that kind of stuff. So we're looking for this green dot to start coming down. And if the plate is correct... Let's have a look at the plate. Well, if it's correct to the plate, then it should capture it at about 2300 and then start descending. That's what should happen. And at that point, we'll be about 5 nautical miles from OBK. Streetlight aircraft third party, Dash 8Q 800, I'd love to fly that. Sorry, Dash 8Q 400 is what I would want. There's an advantage, disadvantage to picking ILS versus RNAV. ILS will give you vertical glide, and you can go down to lower minimums than RNAV. Right, it's coming down, so that should get to here. Just about when we get to PAM here. That should be there. Then that should change to glide slope, green, and it should start descending. And then we'll go to flaps 2. That's what should happen. But let's be ready to cancel the autopilot and fly it manually just in case. There's PAM, there's the dot, there's the glide slope, flaps 2. Yeah, approach button is last, because with the approach, what you're trying to do is you're trying to get your lateral navigation first, which is your localizer, right? When you've got that, you can start trying to get the approach, which is the vertical. There's no point getting vertical if you don't have your lateral locked in. I mean, you can, but it's not advisable. When are you going to upgrade from the King Air? Dude, like, I'm struggling to make money right now in Honor. I don't think I'm going to be upgrading anytime soon. From what I've heard, the King Air in Honor, that rhymes, is the best kind of mid-tier workhorse around because of the amount of it can carry.
Final runway 16.
It's relatively affordable. And, you know, I like doing these medium trips anyway. Right. Cancel autopilot. Yaw dampers off. Anti-ice is off. Now, you can still use the green dot as a guide if you want to, so you can still fly instruments like that. It's up to you how you want to do it. It depends whether you're visual at this point. Using the CJ4. Doesn't that burn like crazy amounts of fuel? She's
50,
scumbag.
40, 30, 20. Retard, retard, retard.
It's floating for Britain. Jeez, man, are you gonna land?
Landing time.
Holy smoke!
Landed at Kilo Papa Whiskey Kilo, Chicago Executive.
That was an insane amount of ground effect. How did you get that working, Captain Flint? That's really weird. Right, flaps. Taxi light.
Welcome to the Nut House.
Mr. Ron, thank you very much for subbing. I think we'll put it on here. That was a crazy amount of floating, that was.
Oral warning, okay.
Alright, pitot heats can come off. Put those into normal. Igniters can come off. Flaps are all retracted.
Engine off time logged. End of flight, registered in on-air company.
Nice. What is it you like about the Dash 8? The Dash 8 on P3D, if you've ever tried it, is just a thoroughly detailed simulation of the Dash, and the Dash I just find very instant to fly because it's so capable, and yet interesting to fly because it's not completely automatic. Like there's lots of things that you still have to do, and if you've got turbulence and crosswind, the Dash 8 is a real barrel of laughs. I don't know, and I just love the sound of it as well in the cockpit. It just works so well, and it was one of the very few planes that, even in P3D, I could get like a buttery 60 FPS. It's just crazy. Anyway, let's have a look at what On Earth thinks of that. So if you have a look at the dashboard, we should have got paid something for that one. We haven't been paid for the big job yet. Why is the dates the wrong way around? Is there no, like... Can they add an option to allow you to see normal dates rather than Americanized dates that nobody else uses? Third of the 10th, we got paid $9,000. If we go to manage VA, it will have got paid as well. So it got paid $31,000 and then shelled out 9. See, all's our Squirrel has done today is basically pay fees. Look, it's just expense after expense, just constantly. But when we fly that last job, suddenly Squirrel will get like 80 grand or something, and we'll get 40. It's just that one last trip to complete the job. Would you say On Air is worth it? I've never done anything like that in a sim, so don't know whether to get it or not. I don't know what to say. Like, you can't even sign up for FS Economy right now, so you can't even try it, even if you wanted to. FSE is free. Established. Bit dated. Has limited job supply. On Air is new. Being developed. You have to pay for it. Isn't perfect. Has a good job supply. Like, but it's also harsher than FSE. FSE is more forgiving. You can definitely try On Air for 7 days for free, I believe. Yeah, I think so. But FSE is closed applications until they've got it automated, because they used to have a manual process to approve applications, and if you didn't get in before they shut the doors, you can't get in until they fix that, which is very frustrating for a lot of people. Honor is only harsh in Thunder mode. Well, I mean, that... I guess you're right. I mean, yeah, I haven't actually played it in non-Thunder mode, so I'm not really qualified to say, I guess. It is harsh in Thunder mode, I agree with that. Anyway, so I'm going to leave it there, guys. I'm going to head out. It's not worth starting another flight now, because it's 4 minutes to 9, which is when I normally end anyway. Thank you for hanging out. I do hope you enjoyed yourself. The sim seems to be fairly stable today, which is nice. Tomorrow we're going to start at 12. I'll be finishing off this last flight tomorrow in the afternoon. Try and get some cash into the Squirrel. And then at 5 o'clock we'll be doing the group flight. I will post the route properly tomorrow. If you're in the Discord server, if you're a sub that is in the Discord server, then you'll see the route and the announcements tomorrow morning. But it will be in chat in the afternoon if you want to come and grab it. But it will be in Japan. Be a group flight in Japan around Tokyo area. We're going to be flying in slightly faster planes than normal, though. I'm going to go in a caravan. So you want something that can do, you know, like 180 knots, really. Something a bit quicker than your stock Cessna. We'll be on live weather. Although I don't know what the weather's like in Japan. Hopefully we'll be on live weather. We will be on a local time, which I'll set, but it won't be live time. TBM too quick. Well, people fly TBMs anyway. I mean, you can slow a TBM down. You're just going to have to manage it. You know, the danger is in a TBM, you go zooming off. But yeah, you can fly what you want. But if you bring it, you land it. That's the only rule. Anyway, thanks to everybody for today. It's been a good blast. I shall see you all tomorrow. Enjoy the rest of your day. If you're not here tomorrow, have a good Sunday. And if you are, well, I'll see you tomorrow. All right? Take it easy, guys. Love you all. Good night.